On the Pro Wrestling Show this week, man oh man, we were supposed to have predicted outcome for WWE Hell in a Cell, but WWE fell short with 4 matches for the card. So we're going to do the Raw Ring report where a whole bunch of infidelity happens at the end with a shocking conclusion. Plus on SmackDown report, SmackDown premieres on Fox with the big show. Now WWE gears for the A show with The Rock and a list of other notable personalities from the sports world that you won't believe showed up. And the NXT and AEW ring report, the Wednesday night report, we're going to call it, where AEW shockingly beats NXT, but we'll have the matches in the whole rundown for that. And for hot topics for wrestling as well, catch you up on the weeks leading into news and information. It's all new Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join me. Hit that subscribe button. You love the Pro Wrestling Show. Just hit the subscribe button. We care for you. Thank you all. We appreciate you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show this week. We covered everything going on with WWE, AEW, and a whole bunch of wrestling news. Thank you all. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Let's get to it. Let's get to the Raw Ring report. All right, on Monday Night Raw this week, man, Monday Night Raw kicked off with the season premiere of their new unveiling of the new Raw set, which is look like a throwback of like a huge skateboard, like a video board, like skaters can go through and try to skate around the video board. It was cool. It was a nice concept. They wanted to be different. What WWE said, they want different settings, different stages for Raw and SmackDown. And Raw looked decent. It looked good. It just didn't look like the Raw from the past, a couple weeks ago. I rather prefer that, but then, this looked like a giant skateboards, but hey, it is what it is. Rey Mysterio kicked off the show where Mysterio was supposed to have his Universal Championship match against Seth Rollins as he won that hard-fought 5-man gauntlet match. Well, he got interrupted by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came out there and ripped through Rey Mysterio, gave him an F5, and then decided to go out to the crowd and pull Rey's son Dominic and pulled him to the post, slammed him so hard and shut, and gave him an F5. Wow, Brock Lesnar doing serious rampage and serious romping, stumping destruction. And Paul Heyman was pleading with Brock, don't do it. Brock Lesnar is like Frankenstein, and Paul Heyman is like Dr. Frankenstein. You know what you get. You know what you're seeing with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar doesn't care who he ruffles feathers and stuff. But he left Dominic and Rey motionless, and I guess Dominic and Rey weren't going to take that lightly. We'll talk about that later on the SmackDown report, what had happened. Also, Sasha Banks went against Alexa Bliss. Now, these two women are no strangers to each other, as they have fought in the past for the Raw Women's title. And Sasha Banks pulling all the stops, preparing herself for her match against Becky Lynch, where Becky Lynch was at ringside commentary with the new Raw commentary team of Vic Joseph, Dio Manning, and Jerry Lawler. Like the Jerry Lawler, Vic Joseph was good. Dio Manning, he was good, but you can tell he's nervous. He's trying to fit into his role. It's just all this came out of nowhere. I thought Tom Phillips or Brian Saxon was going to take that role, but apparently that ain't the case. But Sasha, I think she won her match, and she kept egging Becky to come out there. Becky came out there and wanted to fight her, and the two had squandered it. We'll see later on who I believe is going to win that Hell in a Cell match going forward. Also, the new Crown Raw Tag Team Champions, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, put up their titles against Heavy Machinery, which that was kind of like a mechanic match, but I don't even get to pinpoint why a SmackDown team would be known as contenders to the Raw Tag Team titles. But at the end, the Raw Tag Team champions won and prevailed. And you got to wonder what's next for Ziggler and Rude going forward. All right, on Miz TV, Nature Boy Ric Flair and the Immortal Hulk Hogan appeared on the show to announce that at Crown Jewel, they will have their respective teams where Team Hogan will go against Team Flair and their team captains. As Universal Champion Seth Rollins will captain Hogan's team, as Randy Orton, the Viper, will captain's Flair team. It's like a reminiscence of way back when Hogan and Flair was in TNA at the time. You might remember that. Now WWE trying to bring it back to full circle on Raw. Wow, WWE being original. And at the end, King Corbin was a part of Team Flair with Randy Orton, and Russo was a part of Team Hogan with Seth Rollins. But we'll get to that later on, what had happened with that. Also, the Viking Raiders went against the OCs, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Big squash match. The Viking Raiders won over the OCs. It's like the OCs never get their numbers checked, and they'll never try to win over the Viking Raiders. I don't know what kind of feud they trying to go with that. Also, Ricochet trying to stand up for Rey Mysterio. When Cesaro gets in the way, Cesaro was talking about that it should have been him beating up Rey because Rey squandered his opportunity and holding Cesaro back. And Ricochet challenged him to a match. And Ricochet upset Cesaro by pinfall, pinning the Swiss Cyborg. AJ Styles defended his United States Championship against Cedric Alexander and retained. It's like they trying to literally bury Cedric. I just don't get it, but hey, to each his own. Cedric, you more a man than I ever be. I'm telling you more. All right, the Sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans, defeating Natalya by pinfall and pulling her tights. But Lacey Evans and Natalya squabbling a feud between each other. We'll see how far this goes between Lacey Evans and Natalya. I'm surprised Lacey Evans didn't even join being the cast of Total Divas. She got a unique story of being a Marine and a mother. But look for that down the road, I'm telling you. And speaking of that, Seth Rollins was supposed to go against Rey Mysterio, but he ended up facing Russo for the Universal Championship. But it was a good match back and forth. Russo would kick Seth Rollins with his own variation of his educated feet. But at the end, Randy Orton and King Corbin came out there, and all of a sudden Bobby Lashley came out there to embarrass Russo, and Lana came out there, and they made out with each other and kissed each other, and that was the signs of infidelity. I don't know what's going on with that. It was a shocking moment on Raw, and Lana has something to explain to do on why she cheated on her husband, Russo, and now flaying and told with Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley has a lot of explaining to do as well on what's going on, this whole ordeal going on. So, man, it's like a bad Paul Heyman booking from ECW. He just didn't make no sense at all. Okay, that is the Raw Ring Report. Let's move on to the SmackDown Ring Report. On the SmackDown Ring Report this week, SmackDown emanated live from Los Angeles. Fox pulled out all the stops, the blue carpet, where Fox, with their sports personalities, their TV personality, they didn't want to make SmackDown look campy or look like entertainment or cheesy. They made SmackDown look sports oriented, and indeed it was sports oriented. You know, the stage, the set, and the different camera effect. SmackDown kicked off with the McMahons opened the show. Vince, Mr. McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon opened the show. And Stephanie McMahon had a lot to do bringing SmackDown to Fox, so she wanted to maneuver herself to say, "Hey, I'm responsible for bringing SmackDown to Fox." All right. But it kicked off with the man Becky Lynch, and a cool, awesome video package with them having the superstar look larger than life with the settings of good video promotion from WWE. But Becky Lynch kicked off the show, the Raw Women's Champion, and The Rock both kicked out the show. The Rock, there was rumors that The Rock was supposed to be going to be on SmackDown, but he made his commitments and he wanted to be on SmackDown. He wanted to do something with Becky Lynch, and he did that. And all of a sudden, The Rock and Becky Lynch, sparring some barbs at each other. And King Corbin comes out there, and he gets planted by both The Rock and Becky Lynch, back and forth, making fun of him, laying him out, and doing the Rock bomb and doing the leg drop. And Becky sends the King, and The Rock sends the King out his way. So Becky stayed in the arena and in the ring, and she teamed up with Charlotte Flair to take on SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Sasha Banks, which these 4 women will have their respective matches again at Hell in a Cell. We'll get to that later. The tag team match. And at the end, Bayley taps out to Charlotte. Charlotte gets a win and gets a notch over Bayley. And Charlotte earns herself a championship match against Bayley this Sunday. We'll talk about that later on and predict the outcome on who I think will win that match. Also, The Fiend. It was a champion versus champion match where Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But before the match, The Fiend played physical, psychological mind games with Seth Rollins about what's going to happen in that cage, and had the Rambling Rabbit pretend to be Seth Rollins as the Mercy the Buzzer was The Fiend, and ate him alive like it was like a cage, a red cage. And at the end, Seth Rollins, it ended in no contest after Nakamura was trying to win. We were thinking it was going to be Nakamura, but Seth Rollins, The Fiend, caught Seth Rollins. The Fiend did the same thing he did on Raw and did the Mandible Claw, setting up their feud. And I'll give you my insights on who's going to win this match over that. Also, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Luke in a ladder match. Loser leaves WWE, loses 5 from WWE. There was whoever's their first 9 Fox will be their last. Back and forth. I thought it was a good match. It was a good selling point. High marks with Kevin Owens powerbomb Shane McMahon, do a ladder. Shane McMahon tried to get the comeuppance, but at the end, Kevin Owens climbed the briefcase, climbed the ladder, reached the briefcase, and Shane McMahon was saying adios. And McMahon is fired, but I don't think he's fired for long. They're going to finagle some way to get Shane McMahon back into the fray in the storyline. If it ain't going to be SmackDown, it's going to be definitely Raw or NXT. Well, speaking of that, we'll have a former WWE SmackDown star made appearance on NXT. We'll talk about that on the Wednesday night war. Also, in an impromptu match, Braun Strowman, Heavy Machinery, and The Miz defeated AJ Styles, Raw Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode and Randy Orton. It was a quick match. We didn't even know it was coming that quick. It was just like they was all and was so happy to be on Fox to say they was wrestling on SmackDown on Fox to get that bigger reach. But they won. Strowman, Heavy Machine, and Miz. But it was a little bit, it was something in that was going on in the segment as undefeated heavyweight boxer Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman changed words, and it came to blows where Fury was stopped while trying to jump the barricade. Tyson Fury, you for real, man. Braun Strowman is in better shape and better condition than you ever be. Like I said, Tyson Fury, he's an undefeated boxer, but look at his, you can tell he works out, but he doesn't work out. Look at his body. Look at Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is in top condition, peak condition, and I would tell but the thing is too that this Monday coming up, WWE will give Tyson Fury an open mic to say what he wants to say to Braun Strowman. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to go down between that. That's the first blow. Speaking of that, Roman Reigns went against Aaron Rowan in a lumberjack match, and Danny Bryan was at commentary at ringside with Mike Cole and Corey Graves. And back and forth, but at the end, Roman Reigns defeated Aaron Rowan, and Danny Bryan helped out. So we'll talk about that later on in the Hell in a Cell match card, on that huge tag team match between Bryan Reigns against the Bludgeon Brothers. So we'll talk about that. And finally, the main event, the build-up. WWE Champion Kofi Kingston went against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, and before after the bell rang, what happened was when the bell rung, Kofi tried to leap up. Brock caught Kofi and delivered F5, and Brock pinned Kofi to become the new WWE champion in an instant record 9 seconds. What had happened 6 months of building Kofi Mania. This whole thing started in January. Kofi was supposed to be Ali's role, but Kofi took that role, and Kofi won the championship at WrestleMania. And 6 months later, he loses in 9 seconds to Brock Lesnar. It was just a total disappointment. And it's like, wow, Kofi didn't have a fighting chance to show his skills to Brock. I get Kofi a company guy, but man, losing like that just didn't end well. I hope he gets a rematch, but it's gonna make Kofi go be relegated back down to mid-card status. So just winning the championship this past April and now losing it when SmackDown on Fox. Wow. I just didn't have a fighting chance. But following the match, Rey Mysterio's music hits and Rey comes down, and Rey comes not alone. Rey comes with boxing Cain Velasquez, who Brock Lesnar know very well from the UFC days, and not Brock Lesnar they slapped out. Brock Lesnar looked like he was scared, he was frightened, he was intimidated. Cain came out there and won a piece of Brock, and he did, and he nailed the beast. And Cain wanted more. Brock ran like a scalding dog, like the cow he was with Paul Heyman. They won the title, and Brock was teasing he was gonna come back out there. Brock tried to, and Brock said, "Nah, Brock." But hey, this is right now that we can confirm that Brock Lesnar will defend his newly crowned WWE Championship against Cain Velasquez at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view event coming up on the WWE Network on Halloween, Halloween night. So, wow, it's going to be a Crown Jewel event coming up soon than later. Cain Velasquez make his WWE debut in a championship match against Brock Lesnar. Cain Velasquez leave Saudi Arabia with the WWE Championship. All right, that is the SmackDown Ring Report. When we return, we're going to talk about the Wednesday Night Wars. Plus, we're going to talk about Hot Topics and the Hell in a Cell card for Big Outcome. You don't want to go with the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll be back after this. Wrestling Show. I'm your host, always, KGX here. Glad you can join us. But don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. We provide content for you if you're a true diehard wrestling fan or casual fan. Subscribe to Connect TV right now, and we keep on giving you weekly content on the Pro Wrestling Show. That's what we do here for you. Pro Wrestling Show matters because wrestling matters because you make it matter. And we thank you, we appreciate you. So hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. And don't forget to join the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. All right, let's get to the Wednesday Night Wars. Let's start with WWE NXT. Now, WWE NXT was top of the line. I mean, they tried to, with NXT, tried to have the first 30 minutes be all about the championship match. When they started with Adam Cole defending his title against Matt Riddle, Raw. Matt Riddle was trying to back and forth. It was a good high-paced match. Riddle with his offensive kicks. Even Cole had an injured arm. But at the end, Adam Cole pinned Matt Riddle to retain the championship. But at the end, following the match, was none other than former NXT champion and former SmackDown star, current SmackDown star, Finn Balor, the former Intercontinental champion, made a rare appearance on NXT and claimed that he's NXT bound. And he made an indication he wants his title back. So Adam Cole has a lot on his plate this time. Even the fact that Tommaso Ciampa returned, Adam Cole is being targeted. He has a bullseye target on him being NXT champion. Wow. And plus, Leo Rush getting his redemption after he will face Drew Gulak next week for the newly renamed NXT Cruiserweight Championship rather than WWE Cruiserweight Championship. So, and then also Kushida will go against Walter next week, UK champion. It's probably ain't put a UK championship match. And then the list goes on as Io Shirai defeated Mia Yim by pinfall. So Io Shirai trying to make her mark in NXT over Mia Yim as a token. Johnny Gargano took on Shane Thorne and beat him by pinfall. It's like all these folks at NXT ain't. I don't know what's going on. And then Shayna Baszler retained her women's championship over Johnny's wife Candice by submission. So, a lot going on there. Then former UK champion Pete Dunne defeated Danny Burch and was attacked by Damian Priest out of nowhere after his match. And then the Undisputed Era in the main event retained their championship by beating the Street Profits, who had Wale was singing them to the ring. And you got to wonder when Street Profits doing all that near for Raw, was they time for them to shine and Raw. Go for tag. That'd be a good match. They probably set them up to be the Raw Tag Team Champions. I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about the Street Profits against Rude and Ziggler. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. You know, they planning that. All right. That is the NXT report. Let's get to the AEW report. Now, AEW won the Wednesday War. They drew over 1.4 million viewers. That was projected. They exceeded expectations. People in TNT was thinking internally, they was thinking that it was going to drew like 700 views, but it doubled. And that's amazing. That's a record in itself that a premiere episode debut on the network reaching that mass on its debut episode within 5 years. That's something. That's something that tells you about the reach of TNT and stuff. But it kicked off with JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur. Now that is the right announce team. No offense to the other announce team. JR, Tony Schiavone, back in the saddle on TNT and the Turn Networks. Like many of you remember, if you remember way back in the late 80s and early 90s, JR and Tony Schiavone was a staple on TBS, NWA, WCW. And now they're back in Nitro. Tony Schiavone reminiscing about Nitro and stuff like that. But the opening match was Cody versus Sammy Guevara. This match was back and forth. Good match. Good match for Cody to give Sammy Guevara an opportunity. And Cody said if he can defeat Sammy Guevara, he don't need to be in the championship match. Sammy Guevara did his best. He did his hot spots, did the Spanish fly. And at the end, he did his torpedo, like you out there and accidentally hit what Cody was doing, and Sammy put Brandy in the way and got her hit. Brandy returned the favor by hitting Sammy with her shoe. And we thought it was a pinfall, it was it, and Sammy kicked out. But Cody defeated Sammy with an inside cradle, and it was a good start in the match. We thought it was going to be a sign of respect. Tony Schiavone was going to come down there and interview Cody. And Chris Jericho came out of nowhere and attacked Cody, left him laying, and sending a message that Chris Jericho knows that Cody's coming for his championship, his world title, and Chris Jericho will do nothing to stop it, nothing it takes to regain his championship and keep it intact. And him being the AEW champion, it was a good story build on that. Also, Rio, the 23-year-old Japanese sensation, went against Nia Rose, the first transgender woman in AEW to compete for the women's championship. Both of them went to far lengths, with Rose winning the women's battle royal and Rio winning the one-on-one match at Double or Nothing to earn the slot. And at the end, it was a hard-fought battle. Both women went and through the distance. At the end, Rio claims the title and becomes the first AEW Women's Champion. And Nia Rose was having Michael Nasamani was trying to do an interview. He gets attacked by Nia Rose and gets powerbombed for his troubles. But until Kenny Omega made the save to Rio winning on TNT to become the women's champion. Also, Heyman Page versus Pat the Bastard. Heyman Page wins. No, Pat wins. Pat wins over Heyman Page. Back and forth. This match was supposed to happen at Double or Nothing, but it just didn't turn out to be. But it was a recourse to that, and it was a good recourse on that as well. Also, Jay and Silent Bob was there. Private Party had to stop Jack Evans and Jericho for being bitter and angry towards that situation. Also, Spoof from SCU came down there, marking with Scorpio Sky, which I believe is who's a good wrestler, marking Obama, and they do an interview segment with Tony Schiavone. And all of a sudden, the Lucha Brothers come out there saying they're the best tag team, with the tag team tournament coming in play for that. And trying to think what else had happened. And then the huge, yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. And the main event was the 6-man tag team match where being the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks teamed up against AEW World Champion Chris Jericho and Santana Ortiz, better known as LAX and Impact. They had a huge 6-man tag action, and at the end, I think Jericho and them won. Jericho's team won. I think they won. Yeah, Jericho's team won, and Jericho sending that message. And all of a sudden, Cody comes out there trying to help feud it. But I think, too, what got me was Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley battling out when Omega thought he said something. Moxley came out there during the match and just power. They find through the crowd, and then they find through the VIP area. And the biggest spot was Moxley doing his dirty deeds on Kenny Omega onto a glass table. That was priceless. They had me hooked right there, hook, line, and sinker. And at the end, Jericho and his team of Misfits, Ortano Ortiz, and beat up, and Sammy Guevara beat up the Elite, and Dustin Rhodes came out there trying to help even the odds. He gets attacked with his trouble. And all of a sudden, Jake Hager, better known as Jack Swagger from WWE, comes out there and attacks and joins forces with Jericho and his alliance. It's like the Jericho Alliance. I don't know what they're going to call themselves, but they just left them laying. So, and then Swagger picks up Dustin Rhodes and does his side government's powerbomb on leaves him laying. So it's going to be very interesting to see going forward AEW going to do. They beat NXT with a margin. NXT had almost 900 views, 900,000 views. With AEW had 1.4 million views. That's impressive. All right, that is the Wednesday night report from the NXT and AEW going on. Let's move over to Hot Topics. On Hot Topics this week, a lot of rumors circulating that Edge, the Radar Superstar, may be returning to the ring. Well, that could be true, as a lot of rumors are circulating he was cleared to wrestle. So Edge retired from WWE after WrestleMania in Atlanta in 2011. Edge make a comeback 8 years later. This will be the fastest comeback for the Radar Superstar in a long time. So You know, hey, we'll see on that. I can see Edge coming back, but I think he'll be on SmackDown. That's what they want. Also, WWE congratulate AEW for beating them on the ratings on Wednesday night. So, like Rich Russo said that it looked weak for WWE to congratulate them because that's not WWE. They want to, cut line and sinker you. So, hey, the cut line and sinker they want is just a cut line and sinker they're going to get and stuff. So, we'll see on that. We'll see. But WWE said the real winners of that night was the fans, which we was, because I was channel swapping back and forth, like switching, like, woo, 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 what's going on here? With commercial break. Woo, let's go back to WWE. Let's go back to AEW. So, hey, my Barry's going to be dead in a couple of weeks. Also, Jeff Hardy, current WWE superstar, was arrested again for another DUI offense. He ain't gonna do nothing bad because they don't want to lose Jeff Hardy to AEW. So, hey, what you gonna do from there? What you gonna do from there? Like, Jeff Hardy, had it. It's not too long that he has that before, so I don't get why Jeff Hardy wants to. I guess when you're on your downtime and stuff, you want to do what you want to do and keep it going and keep it, flowing the flesh and stuff like that on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to see. Okay. Also, it's been reports that WWE has signed the smoke show Scarlett Bordeaux to a contract, which that's a good look. Scarlett, who asked for her release from Impact, which Impact, I don't know, is what they smoking for real. Like, they losing people like that, and then they putting Killer Cross in the standstill. WWE gonna either grab him. I don't think they're gonna grab Killer Cross because he's too dangerous. And I think he'll fit more in AEW. I think he should go there. But Scarlett Bordeaux, it's been couples that have been working at different wrestling companies. Look at Renee Young. Look at Dr. Big Breaker. That's all I know. Renee Young, Dr. Breaker. Because I know Renee Young WWE, Adam Cole WWE, and Dr. Big Breaker is in AEW, John Moxley in AEW. So spouses, it can work. And that'll be like the latest spouse to, he's in AEW, Killer Cross in AEW and Scarlett WWE. So it'll kind of blend each other, like, and stuff like that. Well, that, then, we'll find out next week on SmackDown's big rating. They said it should have, if The Rock was coming, it should range to 3.3 to a 6. So when the ratings come up, we'll know next week on what's going on because, it's the weekend and, ratings don't count for the weekend on Saturday. I'll be shocked if they do. All right, speaking of that, we forgot on Hot Topics that CM Punk was rumored to do a backstage audition with Fox, do their Fox Sports show, WWE Backstage with Renee Young, Booker T. Now, here's what CM Punk had to say about this. Watch this.
Like, if I came back to pro wrestling, there's people who are expecting that 2011 Phil, and it's 2019. They would get 2019 Phil, right, and they would probably be like, "Oh."
Is that part of what deters you from it?
No, I just don't want to do it. That's the only thing that deters me from it.
Let me ask you about that, though, too, because there are these, obviously, the second you left, there's rumors that every day you're going to show up, whether it's AEW or now that there's rumors that you were at SmackDown doing stuff behind the scenes with Booker T and Renee Young. Any truth to the rumors that you were the SmackDown stuff, that you were there?
Yeah, I did it.
You did do it?
Yeah.
Okay. And so is that something that you want to announce? Do you want to go back?
This goes back to me being in the position in my life where I'm like,
yeah,
what do you got? I'm very much in a position where I'm like, well, talk to me.
So you're open to it.
I'm open to anything, and if they come at me and they're like, hey, we want you to wrestle, I'm going to be like, no, I'm not interested. But like, I've grown so much as a person. And I look back at all the stuff, and nothing needs. I don't need it. I don't need the confrontation, and I don't need the drama.
Yeah.
But if I'm a businessman, But I also put my my morals and my integrity above business deals.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is very much okay.
It's got to be the right deal.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? If you want me to do anything, well, okay, then talk to me, but don't waste my time.
What does that look like? What does the right deal? What kind of things are you talking about? Are you talking about finances? Are you talking about what specifically you would be doing? Are you talking about?
It would be all of it. I'm realizing now that this is live, and I'm probably dooming myself. But we're just having a conversation, right?
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, and because it's nothing I'm actively chasing, I don't have numbers or specifics or details or anything like that. It was just my agents got me on the phone, and they're like, "Hey, Fox wants to present the Fox spent a lot of money getting the rights for." What I understand, just SmackDown.
Yeah.
I thought it was the whole thing. I thought they were getting TV rights for WWE. So it's insane that what did they spend? $4.5?
It was something insane. It was yeah.
Is it like $4.5 billion? That's a lot of money.
That's how much Lucas sold Star Wars for.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So to get that, I guess they're looking at things, and ratings still are dipping, and that's been happening for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm not saying that it's because I'm not there or anything like that.
There's a lot of shit on the air, man. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of content.
It's just always been that way. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was there and I was on top, Raw's doing 3.8s, and I'm getting blamed for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bad rating. And now they would fucking kill to have a 3.8.
Right.
So if my agents just called me, and they're like, Fox is throwing everything at this because they spent a lot of money on this, and they're all in, and they have to make it work.
Yeah.
They reached out and want to know if you. I think originally, like, I thought it was like a WWE thing, so I was just like, no. Right. And they're like, this is Fox.
So you're dealing more so with Fox than you are WWE?
I'm not dealing with anybody in WWE.
I see. Okay.
It was legit. They were just like, it's Fox. And I was just like, okay. And they explained to me what it was, and I love Renee Young. Renee Young's a great person. She's Canadian, so obviously she's like super over the top, nice and friendly. And it's along the lines of like what I do for CFFC. But I prefaced it with like, guys, I'm not going to come in and just dump all over stuff to dump on it.
Right.
Like, like I said, that's old Phil. But if it's bad, I go, I can't. I'm not going to be able to pretend that it's anything but bad.
Right.
So they want to present it like it's a real sport, and just have a show that recaps stuff, just like they do with NFL, just like NHL Network would do with hockey games and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's where we are with that.
Awesome.
And nobody from WWE reached out to you after knowing you were doing that to say anything?
No.
Yeah. What's his relationship?
I'm the boogeyman.
Well, that's kind of surprising, though.
All right, you saw as CM Punk said about that. Wow, CM Punk said he don't want to work for WWE or AEW. I felt like CM Punk was just being arrogant and just didn't care. He just wants to do what he wants to do at his own time, and he's sort of like he's difficult and stuff. He's really difficult. He shouldn't be difficult because when you're coming back, how you going to make patches with the company that you walked away from and you left and took the ball home? What kind of message you sending and stuff? And they saying CM Punk and WWE had the same agent. I hope this ain't what it claims to be, but Booker T had something to say about CM Punk. Watch this.
I know we're here at the end of the show. This is our last show of the week, so I wanted to bring something up.
I got to get out of here, man. It's almost midnight. I got to go work out. I'm hitting the gym hard tonight. When I get in, I'm going deep in the dungeon, and I might work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours tonight after I get home.
Well, that's good. I know you got to stay looking real jacked, baby. But our friend Christian Harloff from the Schmodown, he had a special interview on his show today. He talked to CM Punk.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and, we were just talking about CM Punk last week on the show while we were in L.A.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a clip of CM Punk actually listening to something that we said. I want to roll this clip. Jerry Broke, please roll that clip for us.
We didn't say nothing bad about him.
Well, just hear the clip.
Because Booker T, we've done a lot of stuff with for the show that we do, and he was asked some questions about that exact thing. And Claude, do you have the actual clip of what Booker said? So yeah, Booker was asked about you coming back. The rumors. How's your relationship with Book?
As far as I know, it's all right. I watch that and I see I see the carny side of wrestling, trying to work it and
Actually ends with that. He's saying that if you came back, he came back. If he came back in, that he would love to, because he said you guys had a great respect when you were there. And
I love Booker. Was one of the first guys. I think when I was in ECW and he was King Booker. I think he came over to try to boost ratings on Sci-Fi, and I wound up rolling him up and pinning him. You know what I mean? And he was cool about it.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about that? He said. He saw the clip.
I mean, he gave all the right answers, you know what I mean? Other than, him rolling me up and pinning me. I guess he had to say that to make himself look good a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that was almost like a little jab. You know what I mean? Yeah, he came over, ECW, I rolled him up, I pinned him. It's one of those type of deals, you know what I mean? But, hey, you know what I mean? I remember Rocky Johnson way back in the day. Rocky Johnson's The Rock's dad.
Soul Man.
The Soul Man. He was here in Houston, and he was going against Superstar Billy Graham, and he told Superstar, he said, look, man, the game ain't hard, and you ain't barred.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. I'm still trying to figure out what that means.
So he does a great time to bring it up. But CM Punk, you and CM Punk, y'all are good, right?
Me and Punk, we're good, man. Me and Punk, we're good. Yeah, me and Punk, we're good. Yeah, me and Punk, we're tight. I wouldn't say we're tight or anything like that. We've never broken bread or anything like you and I.
Right.
We've broken bread.
Right.
You know what I mean? You and I, we're tight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me and CM Punk, we're associates. You know what I mean? We're associates. And my thing is, I wish CM Punk nothing but the best. You understand what I'm saying? I really do. You know what I mean? That's just but that's the way I roll. You know what I mean? I never wish no ill will towards anybody or anything like that. You know what I mean? So CM Punk, I actually was reading just a few minutes ago that that it is a done deal now that he has signed with Fox. You
saw that? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I just read that a minute ago, and so look like I might be seeing a whole lot more of CM Punk. So the one thing I'm gonna let CM Punk know right now, bro. When you come around me, you better be dressed real nice. You better be suited and booted, because I make you look real bad. On the fashion game. And I've seen CM Punk, clean himself up a little bit, and the guy cleans himself up pretty good. You know what I mean? He cleans himself pretty good. When he put on some clothes and whatnot. But normally these guys running around, like CM Punk, running around hoodie, jeans. You know what I mean? Some of them Vans or something. You know what I'm saying? But dress up, brother. Make sure you looking real tight. Make sure you looking real right. Around me, because you don't want no trouble. You know what I mean? You don't want no trouble. You know what I mean? You don't want no problems around Booker T, man, because the one thing about Booker T, he can get real mean. You know what I mean? He can get real mad. You know what I mean? It's a saying, Booker T always used to say, you know what I mean? I get mean when you mess with my green. Now, see if I'm joking.
OT said himself, CM Punk need to tread lightly, because he's taking his job and taking food at his table. He ain't playing that and stuff like that. So there's a lot of going on with CM Punk, but I hope CM Punk knows what he's doing. He was a good wrestler. It's just his ego is getting too side-stick to his brain, to his cranium. So let's hope CM Punk can alleviate and try to do right and stuff like that. But it's being in the business of CM Punk. CM Punk just for being in the business for himself. That is wrestling hot topics this week. Let's move over to predict the outcome for WWE Hell in a Cell. As we told you, this was sort of supposed to be the Hell in a Cell show, but with WWE focusing on SmackDown more because they was on Fox, they just only had 3 matches at the beginning. Now they have 4 matches. So if let's get started. Unless I check back and see if something's going on with the matches and stuff. Let's start with the SmackDown Women's Championship match. As many Charlotte Flair made Bayley submit this past Monday on Raw. This past yesterday on SmackDown. And now she gets the opportunity of a lifetime to wrestle Bayley. And it's an easy done deal. Charlotte's gonna win over Bayley, and she's gonna be the face of the women's division going forward on SmackDown. So, what can you say about that? Charlotte has Bayley's number, and Bayley had this absurd turn like happened last month. And now Charlotte will pick up pieces and take the women's division to new heights on SmackDown, where Bayley will be either back on Raw or something else. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, the Raw Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch is so personal. It's so personal. This time it's going to be inside Hell in a Cell. And where Sasha Banks returned, the backstory return at the SummerSlam, and then at Clash of Champions, ending a draw. And I'm thinking Sasha will take this one because they want to make Becky Lynch be the face of SmackDown. So Sasha Banks going to take this win and pin Bayley to make her submit. Then we get it Raw Women's time for the 5th time. So we'll see that. Sasha Banks will win that match. And she will carry the Raw Women's division, as well as Becky Lynch will move on to be the face of the SmackDown Women's division. Be in the SmackDown Women's title picture. And then also the tag team situation, or who done it, where Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns team up against the Bludgeon Brothers. Now this whole thing escalated with who had tried to not murder, but try to attack Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns been figuring out all along it was Roman and this whole playing chess games. And then Daniel Bryan tried to get in. Daniel Bryan tried to plead his innocence. And Roman said he did it on his own. He didn't need Daniel Bryan. And all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns team up against the Bludgeon Brothers. Expect Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan to get the win on this one because it's a classic babyface match and stuff like that. That's a babyface match. Also, the main event where the WWE Universal Championship match is online, where the Fiend Bray Wyatt goes against Seth Rollins. Now, this whole back and forth playing mind games, it may work on the Fiend, but a lot of people are expecting the Fiend to win. But I want to say Seth Rollins picks up the win in this match because Seth Rollins has been a little bit scared and intimidated by the Fiend because the Fiend list of people he's attacked and playing with psychological mind games over Jerry the King Lawler, Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman. He's been playing a lot of psychological mind games, and it could be the Fiend's night. We'll see. We'll see on that. So hey, we'll see. I'm suspecting Seth Rollins wins because he has to look good winning on the crown jewel and stuff, and then he can feud with Randy Orton for the title. That's what I'm getting my vibes from on that. And that is the Hell in a Cell predicted outcome, which that was short. 4 matches, man. WWE was focusing more on SmackDown than the Hell in a Cell. Wow. And thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, KG, saying so long, and we'll see you next time for the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.